to the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Would you please remain standing? I have an announcement to make. It is with sadness and heavy hearts that we acknowledge the passing of Dr. Clement Price, Alexander Price. He was a friend, a colleague, a distinguished scholar, a professor of history, and Newark's official historian, and so much more. So please join me in a moment of silence as we remember his life and legacy. Thank you. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley, absent. Freeholder Bobadilla.
Present.
Freeholder Clark. Here. Freeholder Gill.
Here.
Freeholder Johnson, absent. Freeholder Luciano, absent. Freeholder Owens.
Here.
Freeholder Vice President SEBOLD.
Here.
Freeholder President Watson.
Here. I have before me certification from the clerk that this meeting is in compliance with the Public Meetings Act. Again, Madam Clerk, are there any topics of discussion?
Madam President, there are none.
Okay, Madam Clerk, we have two. Do we have any minutes or transcripts to be approved?
Yes, Madam President, we have two. The conference board meeting of September the 17th, 2014, and the board meeting of October the 8th, 2014.
Okay, freeholders, do I have a motion and a second
I'll
to
move it.
approve the two transcripts, and moved by Freeholder Vice President SEBOLD? Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Freeholder Owens. Question, comments, freeholders? No questions, no comments. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley, absent. Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder Clark.
Yes.
Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson, absent. Freeholder Luciano, absent. Freeholder Owens.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President SEBOLD.
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Madam Clerk, let's move to the public comment session on agenda items. Tonight's meeting is a combined conference board meeting, and we will vote on every item on the agenda. So if there's any member of the public who would like to speak or comment on any agenda item, please come to the microphone. I see we have someone at the microphone already. I would like to advise you that we have 3 minutes to speak. State your name and affiliation, please, and your address.
My name is Viva White. I'm a resident of Essex County. My address is 784 Clinton Avenue, Newark, New Jersey. I just want to comment on I's ordinances I-2 with naming a conference room after our President Watson. I'm glad that is happening, so it just lets us know that although you're leaving here in your official capacity, you will still be here in spirit, and I appreciate that. The other items are resolution items J12 and J16, where it talks about acceptance of initial grant award from the Department of Community Affairs for the 2015 non-discretionary community service block grant. My, I guess, inquiry kind of is just clarification if that money, although I know non-discretionary means is not identified to a specific source, but can that money be reallocated in other areas of the county, like say if money is needed for transportation for seniors and some sort? You know, I just have a question about that. And my last item, which is J16, about the truancy alternative program with the City of Newark Municipal Court. My issue is concerns around the One Newark plan, because the superintendent has instituted this policy with regards to student travel in different areas of the city. Are they aware how some students get to school late, not because they intentionally want to be to school late, but because of this One Newark plan with traveling to different areas of the city, and they have to use mass transportation instead of walking to their neighborhood school now? And how does that fit into with this truancy, with giving money to the City of Newark with this truancy alternative program? Has there been an increase in that with students being identified? And I think that may be a byproduct of the One Newark plan for the City of Newark.
Okay, thank you. As you know, this board, we normally don't respond to questions while our constituents are at the mic, but certainly during our discussion period, when we come to these items, if the administration, if they can answer that question for you, we'll take that up in our discussion. And if not, you will receive a written response to all of the questions that you pose. And again, thank you for the kind comment.
You're welcome. Thank you,
of the
Madam
room.
President.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else from the public who would like to speak? Just please come to the microphone. Come up.
Is it on agenda items or just in general?
It's on agenda items. It's not. Do you have a question on?
Do you have a public comment on general items?
Yes, we do. I'll come back to you later. Do we have anyone else who would like to speak on comment on agenda items at this time? If not, normally what we would do, I will then ask if there's any member of the public who would like to comment at this time on any item or any issue. So you can come back up now since we don't have anyone else commenting on agenda items. And please state your name and affiliation.
Hi, my name is Roz
and address.
Moskowitz-Belsky,
And you have 3 minutes to
11
speak.
Wedgwood Drive, West Orange, New Jersey. Thank you, Essex County Board of Chosen Freeholders and County Executive Joseph DiVincenzo, for this opportunity to speak. I'm currently the chairperson of the Pleasant Valley Civic Association. We wish to congratulate all Election Day winners, and we are glad to be back to business as usual, which for us is the safety and beautification of Pleasant Valley Way, a corridor where over 140 accidents occur yearly. As you may recall, our organization represents thousands of residents. We go from Northfield to Verona, from Laurel to Prospect. The Essex County Comprehensive Transportation Plan has already red flagged the intersection at 280 and Eagle Rock Avenue as a need of pedestrian safety. At our very well-attended meeting on October 22nd, Andy Anderson, Essex County Traffic and Safety Coordinator, gave a very informative presentation. We were glad Asif Mahmood and Anthony Puglisi were in attendance. Discussion got quite heated. This was not by any means a bashing, but rather voices of frustrated citizens looking for a way to stop the finger pointing and start the problem solving. I am happy to report that a commission headed up by Councilman Guarino is being formed, whereby county, municipal, and state reps will sit at the same table and talk about the goals for making Pleasantdale safe, pedestrian, and bike-friendly according to the standards set forth in Complete Streets Resolution 0392. The Commission hopes to meet before the end of November to discuss actionable short as well as long-term goals, such as the reduction of speed, increased lighting, pedestrian crossings, and enforcement. An individual struck by a car going 30 miles per hour is twice as likely to die as a person struck by a car going 25 miles per hour. Pleasant Valley Civic Association applauds the actions of lawmakers in neighboring New York who have adopted Vision Zero, a global initiative to end pedestrian fatalities. Thank you very much.
And again, thank you for your comments. If there was any questions in your comments that we missed, we will certainly respond to you in writing within, we try to respond within the week. And hopefully that what you have concerns about, that we will be able to answer your questions or your concerns. Thank you so much for coming. Do we have anyone else from the public who would like to speak? Please come to the microphone, state your name, affiliation, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Steve Outing. I'm the president of the Intergenerational Youth Organization. It was founded by the late Bessie Walker Williams, who was one of the oldest graduates at Rutgers University at the age of 79. I also am the president of the local chapter National Action Network under the leadership of Reverend Sharpton. One of my concerns as I come here this evening is reference to, I don't like to use the term minority, but I hope that there is some consistency in reference to the issuing of contracts to people of color in Essex County. There's a large
joblessness in Essex County, and I hope the freeholders understand you have a responsibility, an opportunity to show that there is equity in reference to contracts. The county has billions of dollars in contracts they issue a year, and I hope Latinos and African Americans and other women are able to take advantage of these resources. And if you have a list of African American or Latino or other women contractors, I hope you would put that online and make it public, because this is something seriously that Reverend Sharpton and Dr. Jefferson at Metropolitan Baptist Church wanted me to look into. So I hope there is equity in playing field, and you all understand that we are at 911 emergency in reference to our economy in Essex County. And I hope you take your job very seriously, because our children are wandering aimlessly in the wilderness with joblessness. And that's one of the big problems in the city of Newark. 10 out of 10 young person I come up to and I speak with, the first thing they say is that they need to be gainfully employed. And I hope that wholeheartedly that everyone and the county executive take this matter very seriously and understand that all children are a gift from God, and we need to do what we can to help nurture and cultivate our young people. Thank you, God bless you, and peace to all of you.
And thank you for your comments and your concerns. As always, we will respond to you. And in our response, you will probably see that the Essex County Freeholder Board and the County Exec, we take your concerns seriously. So the response we send to you will probably answer some of your questions, not all, but most of them will be answered. And thank you again for coming and bringing your concerns before this board. Do we have anyone else from the public who would like to speak at this time? No one else, so Madam Clerk, let's continue with the agenda. Okay, then the topics of discussion, Madam Clerk?
Madam President, there are none.
Okay, ordinance on second reading and public hearing. Madam Clerk, I see there are no ordinances on second reading for listing only. So let's move on to ordinance on second reading and public hearing. Please read ordinance number O-2014-00013.
Ordinance number O-2014-00013, ordinance amending the Essex County District Solid Waste Management, inclusion of the 7-year extension of contract by and between the Essex County Utilities Authority and the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey for the transfer, transportation, and disposal of all municipal processable solid waste types 10, 23, and 27 generated within Essex County, and direction of all municipal processable waste types 10, 23, and 27 to the Essex County Resource Recovery Facility in Newark, New Jersey, owned by Port Authority of New York, New Jersey, pursuant to regulatory flow control.
I hereby declare the public hearing on ordinance number O-2014-00013 open. If there's any member of the public who would like to comment for or against this ordinance, please come to the microphone and state your name, affiliation for the record, and again, you have 3 minutes to speak. That's on ordinance, second reading on ordinance 0013. Mr. Polyvecchio, you have any questions or comments?
Yeah, just a comment to remind the board, a few meetings ago, Mr. Herrmann and Mr. Barrett, on behalf of the Utilities Authority, came and gave a very detailed presentation explaining the cost savings involved with this 7-year extension of the contract for the transportation and disposal of waste. I think it was a triumph. They had graphs, if you remember, and showing the steady decrease and the very favorable contract that we have going forward now.
Very good. Mr. McInerney?
No comments.
No comments? Mr. Herrmann, do you have any additional comments to make at this time before the freeholders ask questions?
Good evening, members of the Freeholder Board.
As indicated, we did appear here on October 1st. Mr. Thomas Barrett and myself who worked very hard on this 7-year extension of the agreement between the Port Authority and the Essex County Utilities Authority for the disposal of all processable waste at the Essex County Resource Recovery Facility. And at that time, we went back and made reference to the initial 5-year extension that this board approved back in 2010, which was a very substantial cost saving to our municipalities. And you may remember we had the boards, and with this new agreement, which is a 7-year agreement, government-to-government agreement, every municipality in Essex County is going to save money. And we had our charts which indicated that in the first year, 2015, the tipping fee was going to be reduced almost $7. So every town from Newark with $563,000 saving in the first year, Livingston with, I think it was $90,000, Montclair, every town had a very substantial saving. And we did pass out the projected savings, and we showed what the tipping fee was from 2010 to 2014, and now from 2014 to 2021, the towns will pay less from 2015 throughout the 7-year to 2021 than they paid in 2014. Newark benefits because it gets a host municipality fee here, and 60% of our population live in the closest 5 municipalities. So this is easy access for the haulers for our municipalities to get to this facility. The use of this facility is certainly in conformity with DEP and EPA emission regulations, is certainly preferable to long-distance hauling to landfills. And as Mr. Barrett had mentioned to the board, because we're environmentally conscious also at the Utilities Authority. This isn't just about savings of money. We want to be sure that what we do for the citizens of Essex is environmentally sound. And the operator of this facility has started on a modern technique called the bag house technology, which drastically reduces emissions. And that's already in progress in 2014, and it will be concluded in 2016, which is a great step in the right direction. So the Essex County Utilities Authority, as the agency for this county, as the regulatory agency for the collection and disposal of solid waste in the county, strongly recommends that the board approve this agreement. What will happen is, if it is now approved on second reading and final passage, it will be referred to the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection for their review and their certification, including what we call regulatory flow control. Over these past 5 years also, we have continued to reduce our bonded indebtedness. And when we came into office, the bonded indebtedness of the Utilities Authority was $100 million, and as of today, it's $57 million. And with this agreement, it will continue to be reduced. So for all those reasons, we strongly recommend passage, and we thank this Freeholder Board for its involvement in this. Because I know Freeholder Gill had mentioned after we were here the first time that some of the municipal officials called and thanked him and the board members for their action in this case. And the response from our municipalities has been overwhelming here. So this is good government in action, and we thank the board for its involvement in the matter.
And again, thank you for the additional information presented to the board. And if the Freeholders have any questions, we may have to ask you to come back. But right now, let me see if we have any questions from the Freeholders. Freeholder Vice President SEBOLD.
I just have a comment. At the last meeting when you were here and made the presentation, I commented and commended both of you for doing such an excellent job with the Utilities Authority. And after that particular meeting, I let the council in the town where I live know what was going to be, and they were really impressed. As a matter of fact, it then appeared on the alternative press and got lots of publicity, and I just want to thank you for doing such a great job with this.
Thank you. We're very proud of it, Shirley.
You should be.
Very good. Freeholders, additional questions, comments? Freeholder Clark?
Yeah, just to say that I can recall the chart that you put up, and it's, as I recall, it's going to decline, and then it may increase very slightly toward the end of the 7-year projection, but by then you'll be ready to renegotiate another one and hopefully kind of bring costs back down. So it looks like it's going to at least provide some relief, some financial relief for our municipalities, so that's good.
Thank you. Additional questions, freeholders? All right, freeholders, then do I have a motion and a second to close the public hearing on ordinance 2014-0013, moved by Freeholder Clark? Do I have a second?
I thought I moved it. I'll second it.
No, I'm just asking for it. No. I was asking for questions earlier, and now I'm asking for a move.
I'll move it.
You,
I'm sorry. Did
Clark
Freeholder
moved it.
Clark
You want to
moved it?
second
Then
it?
I'll second it. Yeah,
Okay,
that's what I
very
said.
good. All right. Do I have the same mover and second to approve the ordinance? Yes? Do I have the same
Yes.
mover, same seconder? Freeholder Clark?
Yes.
Okay, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Vice President SEBOLD?
Yes.
Freeholder Owens?
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano, absent. Freeholder Johnson, absent. Freeholder Gill?
Yes.
Freeholder Clark?
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla?
Yes.
Freeholder Beasley, absent. Freeholder President Watson?
Yes.
So moved.
Freeholder Vice President, I just reached over to the attorney and I said, you know, this is kind of awkward, although I'm so honored. But will you take on, from your seat, take on the next ordinance? That would be ordinance 2014-00014.
Madam President.
And I would ask the clerk to please read the ordinance.
Ordinance number O-2014-00014, ordinance naming the Freeholders Conference Room in the Essex County Hall of Records as the Blonnie R. Watson Conference Room in honor of Freeholder President Blonnie R. Watson.
May I comment now?
Yes.
I just want to say that I think this is absolutely marvelous that the conference room is going to be named in honor of you, although you won't.
Okay, you have to open the public hearing.
I have to open it for
Yes.
public hearing first. That's what I was asking. I
Yes.
wasn't sure because this got
Yes.
transferred.
You want to open the public
All right,
hearing?
it's open to public hearing. If there's anyone from the public who would like to come forth and make a comment, you have 3 minutes. Please give your name and address for the record. Is there anyone who would like to speak? If not, freeholders, now I can continue speaking. Yes. I think this is just marvelous, and although you're going to come and visit, you have indicated that you are going to come and visit, even though you won't be here, your name will be on that room, and so we will never forget you, even when you're not visiting us. And I think it's just wonderful. And I know that the county executive has arranged for a press conference when the naming of the room will occur. I don't have the date with me, but I know it's coming up soon, and I hope everyone will be there to honor our President, Blonnie Watson.
Madam,
Thank you so much.
Madam Chair, may I give you the information you
Yes.
requested? It will be held on Friday, November the 14th at 12 noon
Friday, November the 14th at 12 noon.
in this room.
In this room. The room will be named after our President, Blonnie Watson, and I hope that you will all come to participate in the naming of the room for a wonderful woman who has served for so many years as president of this board. And it is with great appreciation that you have been our president for so many years.
Thank you so much.
Freeholder Bobadilla.
Thank you. You know, in the past 3 years and a month that I've sat with this board, I can tell you that I've learned a lot about good governance, and I owe that to the county exec, my colleagues here, a lot of individuals in this room, and particularly you. And I I can't thank you enough for the guidance that you've given me and the guidance that you'll continue to give me even though you won't be here. And I will seek that guidance wholeheartedly. And I can't wait for November 14th to be here because it's so fitting. You have been a great leader and you will continue to do so in the community and as a counselor to many of us. So that's great, fitting tribute for you.
Thank you, Freeholder Bobadilla. Is there any other freeholder who would like to speak? Freeholder Clark.
Yes. One of the things that I noted when I saw the announcement was not only is the conference room going to be named in Ms. Watson's honor, but it also indicates that there's going to be a plaque that's going to be erected that tells the story of Bonnie Watson. That is really important because sometimes you can see a name on something, but if you don't know the story behind the name, either on the wall or on the door or on the building, you don't make the connection. I'm certain that for years to come, people who come onto the 5th floor will be able to make the connection. And so, congratulations, well deserved.
Thank you, Freeholder Clark. Are there any other further comments? Freeholder Gill.
Thank you, Freeholder SEBOLD. I just would like to say I couldn't think of a more fitting tribute. It's been, I know we still have a few more meetings left, but it's been an honor to serve under your leadership these last 2 years. I've said it many times here on the record. You not only are knowledgeable on the issues, know the ins and outs of government, but you command this board with respect and a dignity I think we can all be proud of as freeholders. And been proud to call you our leader and our president, and disappointed that you're leaving us. But I know you're not leaving the community, which is I know where it all started for you. And as Freeholder Bobadilla and Freeholder Clark said, you're a role model for all of us in public service. And it's good to know that you're still going to be close by, because I know we're going to need that that guidance and that help. So congratulations, and I'm looking forward to the 14th. Thank you, Freeholder.
Thank you, Freeholder Gill. Are there any more comments? Freeholder Owens.
Well, I wasn't as fortunate as some of you freeholders here, and a lot of the people who work here in the county to have known Bonnie as long as many of you have. But in the time I've known her, I've been on this board about 2 years. It's all but to say that I fell in love with her, but in a business type of way, of course. But Bonnie has been a great leader. She certainly gave me a lot of inspiration in doing what I've done here as a freeholder. And it's been just a great pleasure that goes beyond just being here in the freeholder meetings, but her personal acquaintance that we have has been really great for her and her family. And Bonnie, I just thank you so much for what you've done and what you continue to do wherever you are. And keep on doing that.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, at this time, do I ask the President to speak, or do we vote?
Just let me, I thought at the beginning of the year I was ready for this day, not for the naming of the room, but to say that I will be leaving this freeholder board after 18 years. And as the time get close, I continue to get emotional. So I just want to thank you guys for all that you do. For a leader is only good as the people that works with her. So I wouldn't be what I am today if it had not been for you all. So again, thank you so very much.
Thank you, President Watson. You've done a wonderful, wonderful job. And now that it's time to vote, I'm going to take it upon myself.
First, we have to close the public hearing.
If you will, Clerk, please have the roll call, and I would like to move that we accept this resolution.
If I can just interject, first, a motion to close the public hearing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
A motion to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Moved by Freeholder Clark, second by Freeholder Owens.
We have second, yeah, and then the same mover and
The
second.
same mover, same seconder?
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, roll call, Madam Clerk. I lost my opportunity.
Freeholder Beasley, absent. Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder Clark.
Yes.
Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson, absent. Freeholder Luciano, absent. Freeholder Owens.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President SEBOLD.
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Madam Clerk, let's go to ordinance number 2014-0015. Please read it.
Ordinance number O 2014-00015, Board Ordinance for reappropriating $383,443.62, proceeds of obligations and certain other funds not needed for their original purposes and to be used for the renovation to 6 elevators located on the Newark campus of Essex County College.
Okay, I hereby declare the public hearing on ordinance 2-0014-00015 open. If there's any member of the public who would like to comment on the ordinance, please come to the microphone, state your name and affiliation at this time. For or against this ordinance? You have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, Madam Clerk, there's no one from the audience, but let me, at this time, ask Mr. McInerney, and then I'll come back to the board. Mr. McInerney, you have any questions or comments at this time?
Just a comment, Madam President. This ordinance takes funds that were capital funds that were already approved and funded for other projects at Essex County College for general improvements. 2 of these are from 2009 and 1 is 2007. And as a result of not using these funds, they're now being reappropriated. Rather than go out and get new financing, these funds are being reappropriated for the renovations of the elevators located at the Newark campus of Essex County College. So again, it's just reallocating capital funds that are no longer, or left over, if you will, from other projects and no longer going to be needed to a cost that obviously serves a better use.
Freeholders, do you have any questions or comments on the ordinance? No questions, no comments?
No.
Okay, freeholders, then do I have a motion and second to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Moved by Freeholder Clark and second by? Second by Freeholder Bobadilla. Do I have the same mover, same seconder?
Yes.
On the orders to approve the ordinance?
Yes.
Okay, Madam Clerk, roll call.
Freeholder Vice President SEBOLD.
Yes.
Freeholder Owens.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano, absent. Freeholder Johnson, absent. Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Clark.
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder Beasley, absent. Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Madam Clerk, we'll move to ordinance number 2014-0016. Please read it.
Ordinance number O 2014-00016, ordinance establishing the year 2015 fee schedule of the Essex County Parks and Recreation Facilities, revised.
Okay, I hereby declare the public hearing open for ordinance 2014-00016 open. If there's any member of the public who would like to speak for or against this ordinance, please come to the microphone, state your name and affiliation, and you have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, Madam Clerk, there's no one wishing to speak on the public hearing from the audience. Mr. McInerney?
No comments.
No comments. Mr. Polyvecchio? Freeholders, do you have any questions? Freeholder Clark.
Madam President, thank you very much. As you know, this is my committee. We had a committee meeting on it, and I just want to thank the administration, in particular, in his absence, Mr. Chilella. And I don't see Dan, but I do see Josh. And I presume you're sitting in for Dan. And so in Dan's absence, Dan, and you, Josh, as well, Carmen, I think you were around for the meeting. And Alan, you were here for the, no, you weren't, okay, but Carmen, you were. Madam President, it was my final meeting as the rep chair. It was a good meeting. It was the kind of meeting where I asked for just some minor considerations, and in looking at the changes, we got them. When I say we, the considerations were not for me, they were for the consumers of the goods and services that we provide, meaning the residents of Essex County. And so I hope that folks will be happy, or let's put it this way. I hope people will be able to live with the ordinance, the fee ordinance. I know I feel good about supporting the fee ordinance. And so I want to thank you for your willingness to meet me partway in a negotiable sort of a way. I can't help but throw this comment in right now. I would only hope and wish, I could only dream that maybe, just maybe, our United States government and you know, our administrative and legislative branches might be able to sit down and work out compromises like we do. The way we were able to sit down and work out a compromise in a committee meeting. It would really be something to behold. Hopefully, let's pray about it. But anyway, getting back, that was my, I guess that was my joke, my comic relief for the night. I just wanted to share with us that in 2013, we had the part of the arts, culture, recreation, especially recreation, was able to come up with 12 million. Is that the correct number? The budget was 8.5, and then you needed another 3.5 in open space.
Yes.
So roughly 15, but they earned 12. That's pretty good. And that's the kind of thing that I think we need to say. And the administration doesn't often say it about itself. And we rarely say it from a legislative perch. But I'm taking this opportunity to say that's a good thing. That means that what you're offering, people want to take advantage of. You're offering it at a price that people feel that they can deal with and it's not egregious. And that's all I've asked, that we continue to keep our fees at a level where our residents don't feel that we're beating them up for the fees, but that they're getting their money's worth for what it is that they're doing. And that's a good thing, because you were able to earn 12 million. It looks like we're on pace, Madam President and members of the board, to reach not only the 12, but maybe exceed it by another million for this year. That's a really good thing. Budget this year, 12.4, needed about 3.8 from open space. You know, this is very, very good. Mm-hmm. And I'm not sure whether we say it, like I'm just saying again, I feel good to say stuff like this. I really do. That when we have these attractions and we're putting the kinds of energy and effort into our recreational services that we're putting, and the results are coming back like this, kudos to the administration for the work that you're doing. Please tell the county executive that we think he's doing a great job with this. Please continue, and I just hope that the board going forward, and I know that it will because we've got 3 members that'll be going forward with this board. Congratulations to all of you on being reelected. This is some good stuff, so continue it. So I'm happy to report out. Roger Wilco, over and out, signing off on my final recreation committee report, and it's a good one, Madam President.
Yes. And thank you, Freeholder Clark, for certainly you led that committee over the years, and that's why I continue appointing you to chair certain committees, because I know once you chair a committee, we would make sure that the meetings would take place whenever there were agenda items that related to your committees that you served and as the chair. So again, thank you for your service.
Madam President, one last thing, I'm sorry. You will all receive a grid. If you haven't gotten it already, you're going to get it. The grid tells you about the projects. These projects are projects that are in your areas. So make sure you know which ones are in your area so you can share it. Madam President, Mr. Chilella assured me that the lights would be in Watsessing Park.
And
Josh, you know I rode by Watsessing Park. Public service was out there at night running the wires. So the lights are in. It's going to look beautiful. I can't wait for the press conference.
And again, this is what you said it, and it makes so much sense. When the administration and the legislative body work together, hand in hand, we can get things done. You don't get things done if you're pointing fingers and not working together to solve issues and problems. So again, thank you for your time that you spent with this committee on the fee schedule. So at this time, we will continue. Do I have any other questions from the freeholders? If not, freeholders, do I have a motion? Freeholder Gill.
Thank you, Madam President. Just have a quick question through you, Madam President, for the administration, and I apologize that this question probably should have been asked in the committee meeting, and I apologize I was not able to get it to the committee meeting, but just a small issue on the permitting of the athletic fields and the turf fields. Do we distinguish on the permitting fees between nonprofit sports organizations and for-profit sports organizations when permitting our athletic fields and our specifically our youth lighted fields?
I'm not sure. Would you be able to answer that, Alan?
Alan ABRAMOWITZ, Deputy County Administrator. Yes.
Okay, will you continue, please?
Okay, so there's a higher fee for-profit sports organizations?
No, he's going to answer that for you. I don't think so, but I want the administration to answer.
If it would be helpful, I can call Josh Zaitz.
Okay, Josh, you want to come to the microphone?
Joshua Zaitz, Essex County Parks. Through you, Madam Chair, yes, there is a different fee depending if you're nonprofit or profit.
Okay. Was there, and maybe it's in the materials and I apologize, was there an increase in the proposed fee from 14 to 15 for for-profit?
There is an increase in athletic fees. Youth 17 years and younger, $10 to $12. Lighted field, $30 to $35. So there is a slight increase, but it's been I believe 2 years since we increased any fees.
Okay, so that increases that. I'm sorry, Madam President.
Continue.
So that increase applies to for-profit sports.
Specifically for-profit, non-profit, I'm not seeing it just on my changes sheet.
Okay.
If you bear with me.
And that's okay. I mean, I guess through you, Madam President, my point here, and the reason I flagged that is, especially with the for-profit sports camps that are using our facilities, I just firmly believe that, they should pay a higher price to use our facilities. We're subsidizing their business, so versus a nonprofit recreational sports league. I think that distinction is important, and I will support this, but as we continue, I just think that's also a potential area for the county to grow a little bit more of a revenue source. So thank you.
Freeholder Clark. Yeah, Freeholder Clark.
Madam President, excellent point, Freeholder Gill. As a matter of fact, that was one of the ones that I looked at when we were talking about the large numbers, and my concern was just that. And one of the things that Mr. Salvanti shared with us during that committee meeting was that while a fee might look higher, what you have when you're a nonprofit is the ability to partner with the county. And so and I know that to be true because I've had people call and ask me, is there a way that they don't have to be hit with an exorbitant fee? And I said, call the Parks Department and see if it's something that that they would not mind co-sponsoring with you. When that happens, now it's a joint venture, and as long as you have, or not you, but the other group has all of the things in place that they're supposed to have in place, that kind of partnership can then go forward, and it's a win-win for everybody. But to your point, yes, if you're going to make if you stand to make a substantial amount, then yeah, $1,000 or $1,500 is a drop in the bucket compared to what you're going to make, and you're going to be using the facilities. And Dan actually gave a couple of specific examples of big organizations that use our parks, and that's why you see the fees that you see.
Okay, that answers your question, Freeholder Gill? Okay, very good. Okay, we're still in discussion, freeholders, on ordinance 16. Do we have any additional questions, freeholders, or comments? Okay, do I have a motion and a second to close the public hearing?
So moved.
Moved by Freeholder Clark. Do I have a second? Second by Freeholder Bobadilla. Do I have the same mover and seconder to approve the ordinance? Freeholder Clark, do I have?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, yes.
I'm fine,
And
yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla,
Yes.
we will move to approve the ordinance at this time. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley, absent. Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder Clark.
Yes.
Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson, absent. Freeholder Luciano, absent. Freeholder Owens.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Sebo.
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Madam Clerk, let's go to 2014-00017. Would you please read that ordinance?
Yes, ordinance number 2014-00017, an ordinance regulating parking along snow-covered county roads.
Okay, Mr. McInerney, you have any questions or comments on
Not
that?
on this, Madam President, no.
Mr. Polyvekio?
No, I don't, Madam President.
Okay, freeholders, then do you have any questions at this time? Did I open the public hearing?
No.
Okay, I hereby declare the public hearing open on ordinance number O-2014-00017. Do we have anyone from the audience who would like to comment or speak for or against this ordinance? No comments? Madam Clerk, let the record show that there's no one from the public speaking for or against the ordinance. Freeholders, do you have any questions? We're on ordinance number 00017.
Madam President.
Freeholder Clark.
Just a question. Is this the one that gives ticketing?
Yes. On snow-covered roads. Am
Is
I
this
correct,
the one
Mr.
that provides the ticketing
Madam President, yes.
authority?
Okay, we have the attorney.
The guru's on his way to the mic.
Yes.
Madam President, James Paganelli from the Office of County Counsel. There is no ticketing in this.
Oh, no ticketing?
This is not a revenue-producing ordinance. This is an ordinance for public safety to remove cars on county roads that become snow-covered. And with the cars on those roads, it's an impediment to safe passage. We need to remove the snow, but there's no ticketing.
Okay. And Madam President?
There's no ticketing, but they will tow.
They'll be towed.
Yeah,
That's
see,
what I thought.
my concern was that in that you can't tow without a ticket.
Yes, you can.
You can?
Madam President, through you, yes.
Yes, continue.
It's a violation of the ordinance. The ordinance provides for towing rather than ticketing, rather than a payment of fines or a court appearance. We have tethered the snow ordinance for county roads back to the ordinance that this board's already passed for towing services. This board's already established a fee. There's already a contract that provides the services. What will happen is between the sheriff's office, public works, and probably local police, if we have to tow, this will enable us to do it. In the past, the county executive who tries to do robocalls to try to just tell people, please get your car off because we're having a problem with safety, there's really no legal mechanism to do that. This provides the legal mechanism to do that.
Okay. Madam President, that was my, you explained it beautifully, Mr. Paganelli, and that was my concern initially, because in a snow emergency, you can have a bazillion robocalls coming through, and it's like, and if somebody's car gets towed, and while I don't have to field those, well, I might. It depends. It depends if it happens in December. But I mean, typically those are calls that are going to come to the person closest to the person that, I mean, the closest person they can call. And so now you're calling around trying to help somebody figure out, where's my car?
Correct.
There's already provisions to tow in municipalities, and now we're talking about another, and if the local municipality force says, oh, I didn't have anything to do with it, it wasn't me, we didn't tow it.
Madam President.
It's just, to me, it's just a little too much. That's the only reason I'm hesitant and reticent to support it.
Understood. Madam President, through you, as the ordinance requires notice to go to all local municipalities, local clerks, and Mr. Varghese will also make sure that local police is aware. I agree with Freeholder Clark. You know, the snow in the last few years especially has caused a lot of problems for people, and the intent of this is not to make it even worse and have people, where's my car, or why did my car get towed? The intent of this is purely for public safety. It's allowing us to remove the snow off the roads in a safe manner. And it will require more work on Mr. Varghese's behalf, which he has assumed, as he always does, in terms of communication between the sheriff and local police and local mayors and council people, and maybe even freeholders in districts, to make sure that the public is fully aware of what's going on. There was some questions. We tried to answer as many questions as we could. There may be situations where we're kind of knocking on doors and asking people just to move their cars from one side of the road to the other so we can get things cleared out. But particularly, I think everybody's aware the last couple of years, this is a tool that Mr. Varghese needs at his disposal to make sure the county roads are safe.
Okay, let me ask a question. When would we have signs along all of our county roads indicating that do not park during the snow, if the snow, I think, how do they have that worded in some places? This is a non-parking area when it snows, snow covered?
Right, no parking when
No
the
parking
road is
when
snow covered.
snow covered. So if the signs are there and as a citizen I ignore the sign, is that just like me parking in a fire zone?
Yes, I mean, what the county's hopeful here is that when a vehicle operator recognizes that the road is county road is snow covered where they're parking, they won't do it. There are requirements, along with our reaching out to local municipalities and providing notices to local clerks. There are state law requirements in terms of signage, so we'll be doing that as well as along these county roads.
Okay. Freeholder Bobadilla.
Does it, when you tow a car, does it require the municipality to be present while you're towing the car?
Madam President, through you, no, sir.
Okay. Okay, that's good. I was concerned about the response time of some municipalities, just because we know that different municipalities have different capacity and resources to response time, and so that's a good answer.
I don't want to speak for him because certainly I'm not qualified, but I don't really believe that this is going to be a tool that Mr. Varghese is going to employ, hopefully on many occasions with many cars. We don't need to, if roads are snow covered and there's a problem with passage, we don't need to put more cars on there and more tow trucks into roads. But it's his job to make sure the roads are safe and free of snow. And this is one more tool he'll now have in his arsenal to make sure he can do that.
Because if we don't remove the snow and don't remove it properly on county-covered roads, we receive calls saying we didn't remove the snow.
That's correct. Although, Madam President, I think you would recognize this. I think the freeholders do, because I certainly do. He does a tremendous job with the county roads. And Mr. Levecki before him. But this administration, under the county executive, who we all know is out in his own truck driving around making sure this administration has done a tremendous job on getting the roads clean of the snow.
Freeholder Clark.
Again, you nailed it. That's another reason I didn't really understand the need for it, because in the worst conditions, the county roads in Essex County were the only passable roads in many instances, in an amazing sort of a way. I mean, because transportation depends on it. So our thoroughfares are done. I mean, the county, as a matter of fact, when people didn't have resources and didn't have salt, it was the county that was like the cavalry that came to their rescue. I give nothing but praises to the county for how it handles snow removal and those kinds of things. I just can't support this one.
Okay.
Do I have any other comments from the freeholders? Okay, let's move with closing the public hearing. I hereby close the. Okay, we have one other person from the public.
Steve Outing, Intergenerational Youth Organization. I just want to say that I agree with the freeholder. I think the county does a phenomenal job in reference to street cleaning. And I just want to say that I don't believe that we need any more ordinances or any other type of bill that's going to undermine the people in Essex County where they're struggling in the wintertime, struggling with paying high gas bills, and God forbid something happen and they have to leave their car on a county road, and then they have to be burdened with fees from towing company. I just think that the ordinances that the county already have on the books is sufficient, and I think that the county roads need to be more public friendly, and I hope that the freeholders understand that and put the public trust first in their hearts and understand that the most important thing is the safety of the people, and I think the ordinance that we have in place already is just enough. And I hope the freeholders really understand too much is given, much is required. Fearing God, don't occupy the same space at the same time. And you have a duty and a responsibility to your constituency. Thank you.
Okay, I went away from my script because normally once the public speak, you can't come back when the freeholders are in discussion. So I apologize to the freeholders. I should not have honored your presence back at the mic because we opened it up for the public early on. But thank you again for your comments. At this time, freeholders, do you have any additional comments or questions? And I would just like to put on the record, it's my understanding that there are no fines. If we were voting on fines to fine people to park on the snow covered road when we have signs up saying that that you should not be parking. That's no different than any other place you have when there's a fire zone and you have signs all over the city saying, do not park on this road when it's snow covered. So I don't know if we, and the administration brought to our attention that this ordinance is for safety reasons. And that's my concern. My concern is to make sure that for safety reasons, the residents of Essex County will be given the opportunity to have their roads clean, and once the roads are clean, you can come back and you can park once the roads are clean. But you have to give the snow cleaning people an opportunity on our roads to clean the entire road. If you recall last year, sometime when you had to come from the bus from the curb to get to the bus, you couldn't get to the bus because the snow cleaning people could not clean that entire road. So I'm looking at it from more than one angle. I would not want roads to an individual to pay for a fine, but if I violate a rule, I would know that I can't park here. I will not pay a fine. But if I'm parking somewhere that I'm told that I should not park if the roads are snow covered, then I don't think that that's taking advantage of the residents and the citizens of Essex County. I would never ever vote or be in acceptance for anything that I thought was not in the best interest of safety for the residents during these snow with the snow covered roads. I just remember last year when people couldn't get to the bus because the road was between the curb and getting on the bus, there was so much snow and ice that you were falling from leaving the curb trying to get on the bus. So that's not only the bus, but anything, somebody putting you out of the car on a street. And everything is covered. When they put you out from where the snow was clean, now you got to walk over all of that ice. And if you fall, God forbid, if you fall, you're going to say the county didn't clean the roads. So that's my reason for thinking that this is a good ordinance, and I would be in favor of it. So if there's no other comment from the freeholders, do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll move it.
Move Freeholder SEBOLD. Do I have a second? Freeholder Bobadilla. Do I have the same mover and second to approve the ordinance? Okay, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley, absent. Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder Clark.
No.
Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson, absent. Freeholder Luciano, absent. Freeholder Owens.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Sebo.
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, let's move, Madam Clerk, to resolutions, and we have quite a few advice and consent. And at this time, we'll ask that you read them into the record at a later time because I'm pushing for time at this moment. And we'll ask Alan, will you please, let's start with resolutions 1 through, let's go with all the resolutions for the Essex County workforce. And you want to do them all is it easier for us to do them all at one time? Is that okay for me to take them all at one time?
Your pleasure,
then
ma'am.
let's do all advice and consent. And that you'll go up to resolution 11. Alan?
Thank you, Madam President. Resolution 1, advise and consent, nomination for appointment of Aníbal Ramos Jr. to the Essex County Workforce Investment Board. Resolution number 2, advice and consent, nomination for the appointment of Peter Curley to the Essex County Workforce Investment Board. Number 3, advise and consent, nomination for the appointment of Charlene Vishnis to the Essex County Workforce Investment Board. Number 4, advice and consent, nomination for the reappointment of Patrice Davis to the Essex County Youth Service Commission. Resolution number 5, advice and consent, nomination for the reappointment of LaQuanda M. Williams to the Essex County Youth Services Commission. Resolution number 6, advise and consent, nomination for the reappointment of Margaret L. Woods to the Essex County Youth Services Commission. Resolution number 7, advice and consent, nomination for the reappointment of Armando Fontour to the Essex County Youth Services Commission. Resolution number 8, advice and consent, nomination for the appointment of Victor Alvarez to the Essex County Youth Services Commission. Resolution,
Continue, I'm sorry.
Resolution number 9, advice and consent nomination for the appointment of Sue A. Sidenfeld to the Essex County Youth Services Commission. Resolution number 10, advice and consent nomination to the appointment of Andrea P. McCoy to the Essex County Youth Services Commission. Resolution number 11, advice and consent nomination for the appointment of Claudia Roberts to the Essex County Youth Services Commission.
Okay, let's do this. The nomination for reappointment, we definitely don't need to have those individuals come before the board. Do you have any of the other nominees present this evening?
Yes, we do, Madam President.
Okay, did you want to call them up and we'll have them to come to the microphone?
Okay, we can start with Peter Curley.
Yes, Mr. Curley. And his appointment is for workforce investment?
Correct.
Okay. Mr. Curley, you want to give us a little, tell us a little about yourself?
Yeah, hi, I'm Peter Curley, and I am the manager of the Department of Labor, Essex County One Stop, located in East Orange, New Jersey. At that office, we are co-located with our Essex County partners, and we do job placement and job training, and we work with veterans and the welfare to work population.
Okay, very good. Freeholder, do you have any questions while we have Mr. Curley at the mic? Okay, no questions. Your resume speaks. Oh, I'm sorry, Freeholder Clark.
Just to say thank you for your willingness to serve, and hopefully in this economy, I know it's tough, but I think you're doing what you can, where you can, to try to place people. I know that there's a list of potential employers, and you have people going out, so I hope that you're able to continue that and place as many people as you can. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you again for
Thank
coming.
you, madam.
And we will be voting on your nomination as soon as we go through the list.
Thank you very much.
Madam
Next.
President, can I bring up Charlene Vignes, Essex County Workforce Investment Board nominee?
All people. Hello. Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Charlene Bickness. I'm the owner and president of Language Directions, LLC, a private employer in Essex County. And I'm happy to be here to sit in nomination for the Workforce Investment Board.
And tell us, why do you think you can bring some resources to this board?
As a private employer who is involved with workforce training of incumbent workers, we are in and out of lots of companies all over the state and are very much in tune with what employers are looking for in terms of people coming back into the workforce. I feel that I can bring a lot of what I have learned to help more people get back to work or to start their work career.
Beautiful. Okay, freeholders, questions, comments to Ms. Vignes? Okay, Freeholder Clark.
Again, just thank you for your willingness to serve, and the fact that you are a teacher and of foreign languages and adult education. You understand the need for immersion, language immersion,
multicultural, multilingual,
and all of the things that go along with potential barriers to employment. So thank you for your willingness to serve.
Okay, and thank you again, and we will be voting on your nomination as soon as we complete the list.
Thank you for your
Again, thank you. Next.
Yes, Madam President, on resolution number 8 for advice and consent of Victor Alvarez, he's not here this evening.
Okay.
If you'd like, we can adjourn it to the next freeholder meeting. Victor Alvarez cannot be here this evening. He's appointment for the Youth Services Commission. So I'm saying if you'd like, we can
Okay, let's hold it
adjourn
until the next meeting.
Okay.
I know I have a long agenda for the next meeting, but that's okay. We'll hold it and have him to come before the board at the next meeting.
Thank you, Madam President. I'd also like to present Sue Seidenfeld, Essex County Youth Services Commission.
Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Sue Seidenfeld. I'm the Executive Director of Cope Center, Inc. in Montclair. We're now Patient Counseling Center, and we have a long-standing active relationship with the Juvenile Justice Commission, providing substance abuse and mental health and community counseling and prevention for adolescents throughout the county. We've been in existence since 1968, incorporated since 1971 as a program serving youth and communities and families in Essex County.
Very good, thank you. Freeholders, question, comments? No question? Again, we want to thank you for the service that you provide presently with your agency, and thank you for your willingness to serve. And Freeholder Clark?
Yeah, just echoing your sentiments, Madam President. Just saying thank you for your willingness to serve. You obviously have an extensive background in behavioral health and the like.
Thank you.
And the Workforce Investment Board needs to have this kind of diversity on it. So looking forward to you being able to actually share what you know about employment opportunities in this area, because there are employment opportunities. You know, people may need to have certain certifications like drug and alcohol or other certs to be able to get those jobs, but you never know. So thank you for your willingness to serve.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. And we will be voting on your nomination at when we complete the list. Next, Alan.
It's my pleasure to introduce to you Andrea P. McCoy, Essex County Youth Services Commission.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to serve. My name is Andrea McCoy. Let the record reflect Johnson. I've been married for 40 years. So wouldn't want my husband to know this publicly. Thank you. I currently serve on the Council on Juvenile Justice System Improvement for the state of New Jersey, as well as the Essex County Juvenile Justice System Improvement. I've been committed to juvenile justice reform for more than 30 years. I have served on the Youth Services Commission representing the Essex County Prosecutor. I am now proud to serve, if you so move, as a citizen of Essex County.
Beautiful, beautiful. Very good. Freeholder questions? Freeholder Clark?
As a proud resident of South Orange and one who takes great pride in that fabulous track team up there at Columbia, but more importantly, as a stellar career person in the legal world and in law enforcement, and a person who served this county with distinction for many, many years as the lead administrator over in the prosecutor's office. I want to say thank you. It was a privilege to not only attend your retirement, but also to call you friend, and thank you for your willingness to serve. I know that you bring tons and tons and tons of experience, so thank you. You could be doing a whole bunch of other things, but the fact that you're willing to give of your time and your talents now is appreciated.
Thank you, Freeholder Clark.
And the same, I don't want to be redundant, but I feel the same way as Freeholder Clark.
Thank
and
you.
we will be voting on your nomination as soon as we complete the list.
Thank you very much.
And thank you. Next.
Madam President, it's my pleasure to introduce Claudia Roberts, Essex County Youth Services Commission nominee.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I'm a retiree in 2011 from the Essex County Youth Services Commission after working with the county for 24 years.
Fantastic.
Since that time, I've been on the trustee board of the Family Support Organization of Essex County, which provides services to the parents of children with mental health issues. So it really fits in coming back to the commission to continue the work that I did in the past and to more closely combine it with the work I'm doing now for mental health.
Fantastic. Okay, freeholders, questions? Ms. Freeholder Clark?
Just again to say thank you. I had the privilege of actually working with you many years ago and know of your stellar work. So thank you again for your time and your talents. You watched and you knew when many of these programs first got started. So your experience is going to be invaluable.
Thank you.
Very good. Freeholder Vice President SEBOLD.
Thank you. Rather than speak after each person came before us, I waited to the end. First of all, the county executive is to be commended for finding so many wonderful people with such excellent backgrounds to contribute to making Essex County even better. And I think it is just marvelous that so many people are willing to give their time and effort to do this work without any compensation for you to put in this time. And you all bring so much to what you're going to be doing. And it is with great pleasure that I will vote absolutely yes for all of you. And I'm very pleased that you're all willing to give your time and effort to such a cause. Thank you so much.
And thank you. Freeholders, we, at the end, we will be voting on all of the advice and consent from 1 through 11 with the exception of 8. So do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Okay, I have a move. I have a seconder.
Second.
Freeholder Vice President SEBOLD moved it. Freeholder Clark second. Any additional questions, comments, discussion? Freeholder Clark.
I just want to make a quick comment on some of the reappointments. Professor Davis is here, and so is LaQuanda Williams. Both have done an outstanding job over there. Professor Davis, before going over to the college, was over at the Justice Building on Washington Street. And Quanda, I believe you're still over there. So you guys are we're in the thick of it every day. And so thanks a lot again for your willingness to serve.
Okay, just let me have Ms. Patrice Davis and LaQuanda Williams just to stand. We normally don't bring you back because when it's a reappointment, because we're so happy with your service. So we don't want to put you through the strain of standing before this freeholder board again. But I want to thank you again for your service. You're here. Would you like to make a few comments?
It is our honor and our pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Madam President, can I editorialize?
Yes, Mr. Hollybecker.
Ms. Davis is my former boss.
Oh.
From the days of the prosecutor's office, and I worked with Ms. Williams down there too, before she was Professor Davis. So this is nice to see them both here.
And not only do we share a name, but I think we went to high school together.
Okay. All right, so this is beautiful. So again, be ready, freeholders, then to vote on the nomination of these individuals. And we, again, I have to say that, like Vice President SEBOLD, that said the nominees are great people, and we want to thank the administration for presenting such strong nominees before this board. So at this time, I have a motion and a second to take 1 through 11 with the exception of 8 for approval.
Yes, Madam President.
Do I have a motion?
Yes, you have.
I have a motion and a second, that's right. Okay, let's vote. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Vice President SEBOLD?
Yes.
Freeholder Owens?
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano? Absent Freeholder Johnson? Absent Freeholder Gill?
Yes.
Freeholder Clark?
Yes.
Freeholder Bobadilla?
Yes.
Freeholder Beasley? Absent Freeholder President Watson?
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Madam Clerk, we're going to take 12 through 16. We'll read it into the record at a later time. And Mr. ABRAMOWITZ, you want it ready to let's start at 12 and go to 16, and we'll take all 4 together, 5 together.
Resolution number 12, Department of Citizen Services, Division of Community Action, acceptance of initial grant awards from the Department of Community Affairs for the 2015 non-discretionary community service block grant, $316,518. Resolution number 13, Department of Citizen Services, Division of Senior Services, acceptance of the initial grant award from the Jersey Department of Health and Senior Services, Division of Aging Services for the 2015 Area Plan Grant, $4,866,586. Resolution 14, Department of Citizen Services, Division of Senior Services, acceptance of grants award allocation for the 2015 Senior Citizens and Disabled Residents Transportation Assistance Program, $1,181,619. And resolution number 15, Department of Citizen Services, Division of Senior Services, acceptance of grant award from the New Jersey Department of Health and Senior Services, Division on Aging Services for the county's share of the statewide respite care program, $594,515.
Resolutions. Let's go to 16.
16 as well? Shirley. Resolution number 16, Department of Citizen Services, Division of Youth Services, a sub-grant agreement for the continuation for the Truancy Alternative Program with the City of Newark Municipal Court, January 1st, 2014 through December 31st, 2014, amount not to exceed $648,000, grant funded.
Okay, Mr. Brown, the question came from one of the residents when they came before the mic. They wanted to know about this program. We accept this grant and then we turn it over. We don't monitor the program. We give the money to the City of Newark.
Are you speaking about Resolution 16, Madam
Yes,
President?
I am.
I have Lee Fisher here if you could explain it.
Very good.
Good evening. Lee Fisher, Director, Essex County Youth Services Commission. Madam Chair, you're correct. We receive federal funds, juvenile accountability incentive block grant funds via waiver. In fact, the money goes to the City of Newark. The City of Newark waives the funds, and it comes to the county, and we in turn return it in terms of funding that particular contract. More often than not, the grant award letter goes to the City of Newark, and it takes time often before their systems decide that they want to continue with the Truancy Alternative Program, and therefore we receive the waiver, the state gives us the money, and now we're submitting for a contract.
So who monitors the program?
We actually monitor the program. We recently monitored the program, subject to approval of this contract. We've had 3 different chief judges to sit in the seat, the City of Newark. We recently met with Judge Pratt, who's the chief judge currently, and we also met with the person who coordinates the program. In addition to the Newark Public School, who has a court representative who works in conjunction with the Newark Municipal Court in terms of facilitating this program.
Okay, so I hope that we answered the question from the young lady, Miss, I can't remember, I didn't write her name down. But we will respond to her in writing based on your comments.
Yes, I can provide additional information to date, our findings, and I know there's one particular point that was extracted from the person who made a comment relative to what kind of impact the current Newark Public School system is having on truancy. And early on, we haven't deciphered anything that has had an impact, but we will extract or have that discussion with our program providers to find out whether there's anything at this point in time, in October or November rather, whether anything has been surfacing that may show any indications. But when we monitored the program, there were no indications that it had a negative impact on the attendance of juveniles in the City of Newark.
Okay, very good. So we will, again, Madam Clerk, still send that information to her in writing. Thank you again. I went sort of away from it. I looked at 16, and I remember that question came up. So let me go back to.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you for the information, Mr. Fisher. Okay, so let's go back to 12 for question, comments, freeholders. And we're going to take 12 through 16 together. Question, comments on 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. And from 12 through 16, we are accepting, this is acceptance of grant awards coming to the county, going into the budget. Am I correct?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, do I have a motion and a second to take resolutions 12 through 16 together?
I'll motion.
Freeholder Owens, motion, and Freeholder Bobadilla second. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley, absent Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder Clark, absent Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson, absent Freeholder Luciano, absent Freeholder Owens.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President SEBOLD.
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, let's take 17 through, okay, let's take 17 through 23. We'll read into the records at a later time. Alan, we ready?
I'm ready, Madam President.
Okay.
Resolution 17 is the Office of the Sheriff, a contract award to TBS Network Intelligence, the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, to furnish, deliver, and set up various video conferencing equipment, amount not to exceed $16,592. That's grant funded. Resolution 18, Department of Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs, authorization to use the Essex County Recreation and Open Space Trust Fund to fund consulting engineering design services for the softball field renovations at Ivy Hill Park in the amount not to exceed $79,950,000. Number 19 is Department of Public Works, Division of Engineering, Professional Services Agreement to provide engineering design services for the renovation of the softball fields at Ivy Hill Park, Hatchmont McDonald, $79,950. Resolution 20, Department of Public Works, Division of Engineering, Professional Services Agreement to provide architectural design services for the renovations and additions to the Zoo Cafe at Essex County Turtleback Zoo, Comito Associates, PC, $295,000. Resolution 21, Department of Public Works, Division of Engineering, approval to submit a grant application and execute a grant agreement with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the replacement of the Cherry Lane Bridge over the west branch of the Rahway River, Township of Millburn. Resolution 22, Department of Public Works, Division of Engineering, approval to submit a grant application and execute a grant agreement with the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the rehabilitation of the Lyons Avenue Bridge over Elizabeth River, Township of Irvington. And 23 is Public Works, Engineering, approval to submit a grant application, execute a grant agreement to the New Jersey Department of Transportation for the superstructure replacement of the Dougal Place Bridge over the Cane Brook, West Caldwell.
Okay, freeholders, we've taken 17 through 23. I'll run through them quick to stop me if you have any questions or comments before we ask for a motion. 17, 18.
Freeholder, President.
Freeholder Vice President SEBOLD.
Thank you. 18, 19, 20 were all discussed by the Open Space Trust Fund Advisory Board, and I believe your minutes are included, and I'm happy to see that we're moving forward with this, and I see that the Comitos Associates is here, and all the work they've done for the county has been absolutely wonderful, so I'm pleased that we are having this on the agenda tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Who did you say was here?
Comito Associates, I'm sorry.
Which
That would be
resolution?
Resolution 20, Madam President.
Resolution 20.
20.
Okay. All right, so before we go to 21, you want to bring him up because it's a large contract? And he can explain exactly what's going to happen with this contract.
Good evening,
Your
Gregory.
name for the record, please.
Gregory Comito, President of Comito Associates Architects.
Okay, you want to tell us exactly what you will be doing for us with the architectural design?
Yes, ma'am. We've been hired to design a new cafe restaurant, the restaurant inside Turtleback Zoo. I understand there's a great shortage of space, so we're tasked with doubling the space in a very limited footprint at the zoo.
Okay.
So working together with the county executive and the zoo staff and given a program, we intend to turn that into a design element to redo and double the size of the existing restaurant.
Okay. Mr. McInerney, I probably have to come back and ask a question, but you have a question?
I do, yeah. Could you just give us an idea of what kind of budget you're working with in terms of the total cost? I know what your contract is, but obviously you have to have some idea of what the construction cost would be when you take this on.
Well, we're really not at a point to put a budget on it until we actually get a program together and figure out how big it's going to be ultimately and what it's going to be comprised of, all the equipment, the seating, and the infrastructure of it.
Would you think we're talking about somewhere in the range of over a couple $1 million in terms of cost?
I would say it's in the $2 to $3-ish million range.
All right, that's all I was looking for.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Peg, do I see Paganelli behind? Yes. What are you hiding behind?
I'm not hiding.
I didn't see you back there.
Madam President.
Okay, because we need a little more clarity on this.
James Paganelli from the Office of County Counsel. I knew where Mr. McInerney was heading. That's why I started to migrate towards the microphone. As the board knows, we like to try to keep budget estimates and things like that out of the public domain because we don't want to influence the bidding process out there.
I see.
And Mr. McInerney knows as well as the Comito and Associates start to develop this programmatic plan for us, we will probably be back maybe in some type of a committee setting to talk to the board about the full plan. It's also, I think, our hope that the Improvement Authority plays a role in this in some respects. So I think, we'll be back in front of the board with this very exciting project.
Very good. Yes, Freeholder, Vice
I would just
President
like to add, sorry for my voice, there are so many people coming into Turtleback Zoo now. We are having more people than we have ever had in the history of Essex County, and we need to have more to accommodate so many people who are coming, and that's why we're moving forward with this. And this is what the advisory board has discussed at length, because the place is so popular that we have to answer the needs of all the people who are coming to visit, and they're coming from all over.
Right. Yes, Mr. McInerney.
When you do come back to the board, what really would be interesting is to also know would be to some estimate of what you project the food revenues to be in an enhanced facility. So I think that would help the board decide, when actually voting on the cost of construction.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think in our leadership meeting, yeah, we discussed it briefly. We didn't go into exact cost, but we talked about why this was necessary, and we talked also that it was discussed that presently 9 people stand in line just to try to get something to eat at the cafe at the zoo. So I'm sure that before they come back to this board, they will have additional information or more information on why, when, and where to appease the freeholders who will be voting on that contract for the addition to the cafe. So I think what we do this a lot with the architectural design services, and I think I did ask the question, would we be able to go back to open space and see if they would be able to accommodate, to see if they would be able to accommodate the cost of the renovations and the extension and the addition rather. So I'm sure that if we approve the design service for tonight on this resolution, then I'm sure in a couple of months or so that they'll be back. And Bobadilla and GILL and SEBOLD, you guys would probably be voting on that contract. Okay, so thank you again, Mr. Paganelli.
Thank you, Madam President.
And again, to Comito, thank you.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Do we have additional questions, comments, freeholders? None? Okay, so let's go to 21, 22, and 23. And I need a motion.
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder SEBOLD, second by Freeholder GILL.
Yes.
Okay, second by Freeholder GILL. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley, absent Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder Clark, absent Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson, absent Freeholder Luciano, absent Freeholder Owens.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President Sebo.
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, let's take resolution 24 through 32, all insertion of items, budget items from the state. And we'll start with 24, and we'll read into the record at a later time, 24 through 32. Okay, Alan, we ready?
I'm ready, Madam President.
Let's start with 24. And these are all budget insertion items from the state.
Madam President, just to bring your attention, Resolution 32 is not a budget insertion.
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right. We start with, but we can add it anyway.
Okay.
I think it's okay.
Your pleasure.
Okay, let's start with 24.
Resolution 24 is a budget agreement and insertion of items of revenue from the U.S. Department of Justice, Office of the Justice Program for FY14 Intellectual Property Program, Office of the Prosecutor, $393,587. Resolution 25 is a budget insertion of items of revenue from the State of New Jersey Department of Health for WIC Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program, Mini 2014, Division of Senior Services, $4,250. Resolution 26, Department of Citizen Services, Division of Senior Services, amendment to subgrant agreement with Krill Care under the 2014 area plan to incorporate the Senior Farmers Market Nutrition Program Health Grant, amount not to exceed $4,250. Resolution 27, insertion of items of revenue from the State of New Jersey Governor's Council on Alcoholism and Drug Abuse for Municipal Alliance to Prevent Alcoholism and Drug Abuse, Department of Community Health Services, $815,833. Resolution 28, insertion of items of revenue from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development for Almost Home 3, Division of Community Action, $271,078. Resolution 29, insertion of items of revenue from the Department of Economic Development, Training and Employment, Division of Housing and Community Development for Tenant Resource Center, Division of Community Action, $93,210. Resolution 30, insertion of items of revenue from the State of New Jersey Department of Human Services, Division on Aging Services for Area Plan, Division of Senior Services, $13,780. 31, insertion of items of revenue from the State of New Jersey Department of Labor and Workforce Development for the Workforce New Jersey Needs-Based Work Support Allotment, Department of Economic Development, Training and Employment, $50,000.
Okay, let's stop there because the next one is a conflict. So all of these are up to 31.
Yes, Madam President.
Okay, very good. For the record, Madam Clerk, we take 24 through 31.
Okay.
Freeholders, let's question comments. We are open with question comments on 24 from the Office of the Prosecutor. No questions on that one. This is something we receive every year, right?
This is a new grant, Madam
This
President.
This is new money?
Yes.
Okay. Question, comments, freeholders? Okay, then let's go to 25. No questions? Let's go to 26. $27. And 28.
I'm sorry, Madam President.
Yes.
Can we go
Freeholder
back to?
Bobadilla?
Yeah, can we please go back to 27?
Okay, let's go back to 27. Freeholder Bobadilla.
Now, to the administration, I noticed that Newark was not on the table as municipalities that had some funds dispersed for these alcoholism and drug abuse. Did they apply?
Through you, Madam President, no, they did not apply.
Okay. You know, the 3 years that I've been sitting on this board, Newark has not applied. And for a city dealing with the dynamics of high unemployment, you know, high poverty rate, and just the struggles of the everyday environment, I think that's you know, inexcusable. Next week I will be sitting with some individuals from the current administration, and I think that we will probably see a difference in 2015, and you know, because that needs to take place. There's citizens in need, and I think we need to make that available to them. Okay, thank you.
And I have to agree with you, Freeholder Bobadilla. That's been a concern of this board for Newark, every year for Newark not to apply. And certainly there's a need in the city of Newark to deal with some of the drug and alcoholism abuse. So I agree. I think I have a couple of individuals that I think I would like to speak with on the council to make sure that next year this does not happen. But we've been trying to get this award to the city of Newark, but they just will not apply. Yes.
Madam President, like I stated previously, I do have a meeting with them next week, and this will be on the agenda.
Fantastic. Please do that. Very good. Additional comments on Resolution 27, 28, 29, 30, and 31. Okay, freeholders, no further question on these items. Do I have a motion and a second to take resolutions 24 through 31 together? Do I have a motion? We taken 24 through 31. Freeholder Gill moved it.
So moved, Madam
And
President.
second by Freeholder Owens. Thank you. Okay, roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Vice President SEBOLD?
Yes.
Freeholder Owens?
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano, absent. Freeholder Johnson, absent. Freeholder Gill?
Yes.
Freeholder Clark, absent. Freeholder Bobadilla?
Yes.
Freeholder Beasley, absent. Freeholder President Watson?
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, let's take 32. You want to read that into the record?
Yes. Resolution 32, Department of Citizen Services, Division of Senior Services Contract Award to Veolia, I hope I pronounced that correctly, Transportation Services to provide countywide special transportation services for senior and disabled residents, July 1st, 2014 through December 31st, 2014. Amount not to exceed $958,572, revised.
Okay, Mr. Abramowitz.
Yes, Madam President. As you know, this is to provide non-emergent transport and medical services, dialysis, therapies, employment, food shopping, nutritional sites, and education, mall shopping, and social recreation to seniors, transportation. The current contract with East Orange General Hospital ended on 12/31/13. As you know, we had issued several RFPs. East Orange actually extended their contract for a period of time. The last time we did the RFP was in May, and we selected Viola as a suitable vendor. And we are presenting that contract before the board this evening.
Okay, is the vendor present?
Yes, they are, Madam President.
Hello, Andy Burke, Veolia Transportation.
Okay. You want to give us a little history about your company and what you do and how long you've been in business?
Veolia Transportation has been in business for about 150 years. We do fixed route, paratransit, rail, shuttle services across the United States and across the globe. In New Jersey alone, we have a contract in Union County as doing the paratransit for senior citizens there, as well as Monmouth County doing the fixed route system there.
Okay. And it seems that you have the experience to handle the services that we're looking for, especially with our seniors, because we have a special place in our heart for our seniors. I'm sure you know that.
Absolutely.
Freeholders, do you have any questions at this time to ask the vendor? No. And this contract will start, just give us an explanation. It started July 1st through
Yes, Madam President,
December?
July 1st, 2014.
Do you want to explain that to us?
Our contract began July 1st, 2014, and would go to 12/31/2014. Based on
Madam President, through you, Reggie Douglas, Division of Senior Services, run the transportation program. As Mr. Abramowitz has explained, we were under emergency agreements with East Orange General Hospital and had exceeded those by state law. And so we were under the gun to find a transportation service or stop transportation until we got this approved. We had tentative approval through the administration to begin, and Veolia has come in, operated in good faith, laid out their funds without any complaint or demands on us, and have operated in increasing the services and have done everything we've asked them to do to improve the services and provide the transportation to the seniors.
So right now, the department, you're pleased with the service that you received for the few months that he's been with the
Yes, Madam President, very much so.
Okay. Freeholder's addition. Yes. Freeholder Owens.
This is speaking to the mic.
Yeah, come to the mic, please.
Yes. Currently, we have.
Freeholder Owens.
I'm sorry?
No, I was just letting the clerk know that Freeholder Owens asked the question. For the record.
Currently, we have 23 operators, vehicle operators, and we have 2 operations supervisors and 5 office staff, 3 reservationists, and 2 dispatchers.
Okay. Okay, so we have 23, is that drivers?
That's correct.
And we have 23 buses? I mean, they're working in shifts. I'm just trying to get an idea of how many buses we have out on the road and how many
Madam
drivers.
President, Reggie Douglas again, Division of Senior Services. We have 39 vehicles currently in the fleet.
Okay.
36 are assigned to Veolia for use. 3 of those vehicles right now are being held pending their age. We are planning on retiring those vehicles from service.
Okay, so 3 is almost like inoperable. They're not operating, 3 of them not operating the way
They're not on the road operating at this time.
Good. Okay, additional questions? Freeholder Owens, did that answer your question?
Yes, it does, Madam President.
Okay. Do you have an office here in Essex County where you recruit your workers?
Yeah, Andy Burke, Veolia Transportation. Yes, we are currently located in Roseland, in 10 Eisenhower Parkway.
Okay. All righty. I don't have any other questions. Do you have any additional questions, freeholders? None? Okay, do I have a motion and a second to take Resolution 32?
I'll move it.
Moved by Freeholder SEBOLD, second by Freeholder Owens. Discussion on the motion. Any additional questions or comments at this time? Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Vice President SEBOLD.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
I'm sorry, Freeholder Gill.
Just before you call the roll, Madam President, just a quick question, if I may, through the administration. Just
yes.
We actually have in our packet some information regarding this program, or regarding a program from New Jersey Transit that's, I believe, funded through casino revenue. And there's some recommendations in there for the county going forward. Just this is a 5-month contract.
Yes.
Madam President, Reggie Douglas, Division of Senior Service, it is a 6-month contract, July 1st to December 31st.
Okay. And over $642,000 of that are derived from the casino revenue that's distributed through New Jersey Transit?
Yes, that's the leftover amount in the award of 2014.
So that's going to go substantially down next year, most likely.
Yes. So, yes, we're looking at a 30% reduction going into next year from the scatter tap program due to the closure.
So what's
of
the, through you, Madam President, what's the long-term plan right now? I mean, this is going to go through the next 6 months, but what's the long-term plan for this program?
Through you, Madam President, our long-term plans are to look at any sources we can to increase revenue. We currently this year receiving some monies for the first time through the county. So we are working on doing different things, either through better scheduling, we're exhausting better planning, better use of the 53 grant program, 5310 urban grant program, which awards us vehicles so we can save money to buy vehicles and get vehicles in that manner through New Jersey Transit. And we're just looking to do anything and hopefully not to impact our residents through fares, but that is also something that we are in discussions with the administration in the future.
That is going to be a challenge, right?
It is, indeed it is, ma'am.
Additional questions, freeholders? Freeholder Gill, that you answered your question?
Yes,
Did you
thank
answer
you,
your
ma'am.
question? Okay, additional questions then, freeholders? None? I have a mover and a seconder.
Yes.
A roll call.
Freeholder Vice President SEBOLD.
Yes.
Freeholder Owens.
Yes.
Freeholder Luciano absent. Freeholder Johnson absent. Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Clark absent. Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder Beasley absent. Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Thank you. All I can say is support Atlantic City casinos instead of Pennsylvania's casinos. Okay, let's take, we have next, Madam Clerk, commendations, 33 through 40. We'll read that into the record at a later time. Do I have a motion and a second to take all the commendations 33 through 40 together? Moved by Freeholder Vice President SEBOLD and second by Freeholder Gill. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Freeholder Beasley absent. Freeholder Bobadilla.
Yes.
Freeholder Clark absent. Freeholder Gill.
Yes.
Freeholder Johnson absent. Freeholder Luciano absent. Freeholder Owens.
Yes.
Freeholder Vice President SEBOLD.
Yes.
Freeholder President Watson.
Yes.
So moved.
Okay, Madam Clerk, do we have any added starter resolution ordinances?
Madam President, we have none.
Okay, report of board committees. I think we did hear from Freeholder Park already. Do we have any other committees reporting out? Legislative reports, written communications, unfinished business, new business, and we will open it up to the public again. If there's anyone from the public who would like to comment, you may come to the microphone, state your name and affiliation again, and you have 3 minutes to speak.
Stephen L. Outing, National Action Network, Newark. Thank you. Thank you. I wanted to comment on the, okay, thank you. I wanted to comment on the item, Resolution 32, the Department of Citizen Service Division of Senior Services, where you just awarded this contract of $1 million to this particular transportation service. And I would like to know is that with this specific company, do they hire women? Do they hire people of color at this particular company? How many employees do they have at this company? And how many are minorities? I don't like to use that term, minority, but how many people of color they have at this particular, and they're providing services from July 1st, 2014 to December 31st, 2014. And that's almost $1 million. And I think that, like I said earlier, too much is given, much is required. And I think it's imperative that you freeholders understand you have a public trust, and you have to make sure at this particular time when we see a lot of economic hardship in our community in Essex County and a lot of people out of work, that these particular companies are hiring people from Essex County, also hiring women and people of color in this particular company. And I think it's imperative that all of us must take a stand when doing business with this county, and you must encourage these companies to diversify diversify and hire people of color. Thank you.
Okay. As always, I say that we don't respond to you while you're at the mic, but we will respond to your question and what you're requesting from this board. Okay, let's go to, we have anyone else from the public who would like to speak? Please come to the microphone. Okay, let's go into the Freeholder comment session.
Freeholder President.
Freeholder Vice President SEBOLD.
Thank you very much, President Watson. I'd like to go back to the moment of silence that we had at the beginning of the meeting on the unfortunate, untimely death of Clement Price. Clement Price was a very good friend of mine, and I know he was a good friend of President Watson also. He was a very, very special, unique individual. There is no one who will ever, ever be the same as Clement Price. It is so hard to believe that he died this week. When I found out, just, I guess it was yesterday that he died, I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't. And it wasn't that long ago that President Watson joined with me in presenting him with a resolution commending his work for being named the Newark historian. And he was here right in this room with us just a short time ago, maybe a month ago. And it's just so hard to believe. For those of you who might have the time, there's going to be a wake November 13th from 2 to 5 and 7 to 9 at Bethany Baptist Church on West Market Street, right here on West Market Street. And his funeral will be Friday, November 14th at 11 a.m., also at Bethany Baptist Church. And if anyone would like to do something in his memory, if you speak to me, I can give you an address where you can send some money to Rutgers in his name, where he taught for so many years and was so unbelievably liked by so many people. It is really, truly unbelievable that we have lost Clement Price. Thank you.
Again, thank you, Freeholder. I just want to add that Clement and I, we worked in the community hand in hand with so many projects, and we were just talking about doing something with the Martin MLK Boulevard Drive in the lower part of the Central Ward. And we were going to have a meeting because we had some great ideas. He had some great ideas of what we could do with just that corridor. And I'm going to see if I can continue his dream of working with that corridor to bring it to where it should be, named after such a great person as Martin Luther King. And it was his desire to do something with that corridor. So my heart just goes out. I just don't know what we're going to do without Clement, especially in the city of Newark. He was just great. So, while we at it, Madam Clerk, would you please make sure that condolences go out to the family from the Freeholder Board?
Madam President, can I just add one more thing?
Yes.
I didn't mention that our condolences certainly must be addressed to Mary Sue Sweeney Price, who was his wife for so many years, and she was head of the Newark Museum. And I know her, too, so well in her role and what she has done for the city of Newark.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, please make sure it goes that way.
Yes, Madam President.
Okay, do we have any other comments from the Freeholder comment session?